Dr. Sebastian Gorka is a counterterrorism expert and a former deputy assistant to President Donald Trump. As Afghanistan continues its descent into utter chaos, what was it all for? Americans paid the price in both blood and treasure over the last 20 years, only to turn the country back over to the Taliban, who gave safe harbor to al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. Joining us now is the host of the America First program on Salem radio stations all over the country. Please welcome back Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Dr. Gorka, great having you here.
Great to be here. Before we start,
yes.
Can I steal a second?
Yes,
So I had President Trump on my radio show recently, and we honored him with this product to memorialize his recent rally with his famous phrase,
If you're
woke, you're a loser.
I love it. That's
and this is the first T-shirt outside of President Trump that somebody receives.
Thank you.
And because I know she's traveling a lot before she becomes the next governor of Arkansas, my former White House colleague, this is for her, America First.
Thank you.
With the stars and stripes inside. So that's for Sarah.
And it's about to get cool enough that she's going to need this out on the campaign trail. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. All right, let's jump into what's happening, because your work in the White House, you dealt with the foreign desk and what was happening around the world in terrorism. It worries me that we have just turned Afghanistan back over to the very people that we tried to get out of there because they were harboring the people who did 9/11.
So let's be clear what happened in the last month in the world. Biden surrendered Afghanistan. This wasn't a withdrawal. This wasn't a retreat. This was a surrender. Right now, the people who harbored bin Laden as he was planning September the 11th are stronger than they have ever been, have $83 billion worth of our taxpayer-funded equipment, and this is unclassified. Right now, al-Qaeda, the global jihadi movement, is swarming back into Afghanistan, and the jihadis are stronger, Governor, than they were 20 years ago.
That's really frightening as we think about that it was 20 years ago. We haven't had an attack of that scale on our homeland in 20 years, so we've been successful at keeping the battle away from our shores. The thought that we would have more of this.
And potentially bigger.
That is stunning. And there are reports that Bagram Air Base, which was such a strategic place for us that we just walked away from, that China may take that over. What happens then?
Bagram was the only strategic air base in the whole region. More than 20 acres in size, 2 full runways, able to park more than 20 C-17s. We left it. There is no such thing. I've got news for Joe Biden. There's no such thing as over-the-horizon capabilities. You can't fly a UAV from Nevada to Central Asia. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And nobody in that region wants us to land our capabilities, which means we are blind and we are unable to take out the next al-Qaeda. China already owns the biggest copper mine in the world, which just happens to be in Afghanistan. The Taliban has our weaponry and has new allies like the biggest communist dictatorship in the world.
This is really frightening because it means that you've got the Chinese Communist Party now making deals with the Taliban to get the resources, but more importantly, to have the strategic location of Afghanistan and to launch whatever they wish to launch against the rest of the world.
China, Rick was absolutely right. China is the only strategic level threat we face. I learned this in the White House when I got the clearances, read the presidential daily briefing. But there's something even potentially more worrisome in the short term. Afghanistan is next to Pakistan. Pakistan has never functioned as a normal state. The ISI, the intelligence services, the Pakistan military are theocratic. They supported the Taliban for decades. It is a nuclear power. They've always looked at Afghanistan as their rearguard area. Now they may be tempted to use their nuclear weapons against India. And if there is a nuclear shooting war between India and Pakistan, there is nothing we can do to stay out of that calamity. 9/11 shows for us the apotheosis of our civilization, the greatest civilization in the world, Christianity. Why? Because firefighters, policemen, chaplains, office workers, went back in the building to save people they didn't know. That's Christ. That's dying for the other. That's what 9/11 means to me. The other...
Powerfully said.
The other lesson that is even more important, because this administration doesn't understand it. Evil walks the earth. Man is fallen. Evil exists in our heart, and we must always have the courage to fight it. The Taliban are murderous, and this administration thinks we can deal with them. We have to crush evil. That is the lesson of 9/11.
It's a great lesson, great reminder. Dr. Sebastian Gorka, very glad to have him with us tonight. And we want to remind our audience that if you want to check out the Gorka Reality Check on Newsmax and America First on Salem Radio, you can do that, and you should.